Erasmus in Praise of Folly, Episode 4. Ergo quoniam omnino aliquid agendum duxi, et id tempus ad sertriam commentationem parderum videbatur, accommodatum, visum est Moriae Encomium ludera, quae pallas istuc tibi misit in mentem? Inquies. Therefore, he says, because I thought that something ought to be done, I thought, duxi, that something, aliquid, agendum, we have to supply here esse, agendum esse. This, of course, is once again oratio obliqua, indirect speech. And omnino means completely, altogether. It is the adverb from the adjective omnis. I was completely convinced that I should do something, engage in some kind of activity. And oratio obliqua, this one contains a passive periphrastic, that is agendum, and agendum is a gerundive. I thought that I should do something. And the verb here, duxi, is from the very common third conjugation verb, duco ducere. Duxi and ductum is the fourth principal part. This particular verb has a very broad, wide semantic range. It can mean to lead, as in to lead one's troops. It can mean to think, consider, regard, suppose. It has a very broad range, as I've said. Because, he said, I thought something should be done, and here's the second consideration. This time, that is the time he spent on horseback, seemed not at all, or by no means seemed, that's parum, accommodatum esse, has to be supplied once again. And because that time did not seem at all well suited, accommodatum, to sertriam commentationem, to serious or weighty meditation, commentatio, consideration. The heart of this word, commentatio, has to do with measuring, the verb mentior, to measure, and thus it's a kind of contemplation, meditation, or thinking. Because it didn't seem at all well suited to serious contemplation, because of those two considerations, he says, visum est, it seemed good. It's a very common meaning of visum est. It is a third, singular, perfect, indicative, and passive. It seemed good to make sport of, to play, this is infinitive, ludo, ludera, at the Moriae Encomium, the praise of folly. And both of these words are Greek in origin. An encomium, a song of praise, and Moriae, a feminine genitive singular, meaning foolishness. The English word sophomore is from the same stem. Moros or moron meaning foolish, and sophos meaning wise. Now he asks the question, quae pallas, which Pallas sent into the mind to you, or sent your mind, or headed your mind in this direction, istuc. Now Pallas here means Athena, and Athena was the goddess of wisdom, the goddess of craft and skill of various kinds, and she became associated, along with Hermes, with all manner of intellectual pursuit. So what Pallas drove your mind in this direction? Now why tibi? Why not mihi? Well, he is speaking to himself in a kind of apostrophe. He's asking himself a rhetorical question, or thinking in terms of Thomas More's question. What Pallas led you in this direction? Well, the answer is inquies, restlessness, boredom drove me in this direction. You can see here the privative in, and quies, which means peace or calm, so a lack of that. Here is the frontispiece of the 1757 translation into French of Erasmus's very popular work.